Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next prompt. This is our first episode. My name is Pandurang Kamath, and I have with me Rajesh Abhyankar. Why are we starting this podcast today? At Suzega, as we were interacting with customers, there were a lot of recurring themes in our conversations that were emerging. We also discuss a lot about how to really bring AI to the world and make it more effective in the context of our customers' business. And we thought it was worth sharing with others all of these ideas, as well as the signals we are seeing from our customers. Accentuate that signal by cutting through a lot of the noise and the hype that is going around, sharing insights about effectively using AI to accelerate business growth. Focus not just on human efficiency, but human flourishing in the age of AI and figuring out new ways to work with AI. We also want to share about some of the new and emerging AI technologies that are being launched every day. Why and how Suzega delivers a distinctive advantage to our customers. You will also hear in subsequent episodes from our customers and our partners on how they are reimagining the future of their business with Suzega and with AI. So that's what the next prompt is about. And today, we want to focus on one very important theme that Rajesh and I have been discussing lately. In an era where every single day our attention gets diverted by the next big thing, the next new thing that is emerging, one of the hacks or one of the biggest advantages a leader can have is to focus not merely on what's changing, but on what's not going to change for the next 10 years and build your business by focusing on that to create a unique advantage for yourself. So, Rajesh, I want to kick this off by asking you what is timeless in the context of the business that we operate in and that our customers operate in? What, in your opinion, is that timeless thing that leaders should be focusing on?
I've been thinking a lot about this for more than a year now, pretty much since we started conceptualizing the idea of the company. The thing that kept coming back in our client conversations is what is it that can make technology simpler? Yes, there's a lot of complexity behind the scenes, and like some clients who are not that tech savvy but great business people have always said, hide all the complexity behind the scenes. Keep the interface with me simpler. They want faster time to market. Who doesn't want it, right? Everything want
Yeah.
to be delivered yesterday. And the cost. Now, the cost is not just about cheap. People know what they pay for, right? What they get, what they pay for. But what my cost here is, can you deliver more value at the same or lower cost? And that to us is value innovation. So those are the things that were coming to our mind. So we said we're starting a new company. Why not start from a completely blank slate? Let's throw everything out that we know or that we know that worked in the industrial age, worked great in the industrial age, may not be suitable for the new intelligence age or the age of AI that we are entering in. So let's start from the ground up. And we have nothing to lose. We don't have a legacy business to carry forward. So there's no baggage. So why not create a company that is modeled around being a prototype for of the company of the future? So that's the timelessness is what really drove us to designing the new company. Right? People talk about uh, everyone seems to be building for what will change, and we took a very different view and we said we want to build something for what will not change. And for some reason, that started resonating with our clients, saying, "Yeah, I want to be ready for the future. I want to make my business future proof and create my AI layer and all that." But there are things that their end customers also expect that is not changing. They want faster things delivered. They want cheaper. They want more variety and better quality, and those things never change. Those are timeless. So we really went back to the roots and looked at the the human psychology, the way we adapt to change. And then we said, let's design from the ground up. Let's not get caught up into the hype cycle of whatever is the latest model or the news of the week or the day. And that seems to be resonating quite well. And I'm glad that we are having these conversations, record some of these episodes, and share some of the conversations that we've been having with our clients that might be useful for other business and technology leaders to tune in.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's a great way to think about growth and focus in an era of distraction. Things that will never go out of fashion or will not be kind of critically important: price, time to market, simplicity in value creation. Very interesting insights from some of your recent business trips, right? And what you're hearing from customers. Why don't you share with the audience? Because I think, again, those are something that is timeless and spans across industry, the kind of insights that you heard from your customers recently.
Yeah, sure. Maybe even I'll share a recent story that I had. But before that, in the recent weeks, there's a lot of chat about, is there an AI bubble, and if yes, when will it pop? Is it one time like the dot com, or is it a slow uh, reality check that happens over a period of multiple years? Nobody knows that. We can't predict that. What we can see are some of the macro numbers around data centers being built, the power consumption requirements, the hardware requirements, and the amount of capital that's being invested across the world in building the new AI architecture, and the amount of revenue that it has to generate in order to justify that kind of spending. So we know a lot of the AI vendors and the research labs are coming from that point of view. So they are obviously
Correct.
thinking about their own business and building the a business model around the massive capital investments that are happening.
Yeah.
But we wanted to take a very different view. We wanted to create value for our clients. What does it mean for their business? Not for hyperscalers, not for our own business, because our success lies in the success of our customers. So we took that view, and we went back to the drawing board. Some of the early conversations that we had with our some friendly clients, they've said, you need to really understand my world. Right? It could be a technology leader or a business leader. And they said, I have a business to run. I need my operations to be nonstop. While transformation might be happening in the background, there is zero tolerance for disruption. And my current revenue needs to be protected. So that's the pressure that I'm under. And my budgets are being cut every subsequent years. So you need to meet me where I am. At the same time, I have a whole legacy stack that I might have inherited or I built it over a period of decades. There's a lot of technical debt. Cloud modernization in many cases is still not complete. So that's where I am. So when a vendor comes to me and says, "Oh, you need to be building something for AI," there's a fear of missing out. Uh, that really was a wake up moment for us, right? That the pilot and the POC phase of AI is over. What clients are looking for is how can AI actually help create business value? And business value as defined by either better customer service, lower expenses, new innovative ways of creating new products and services, and making them more competitive and making that faster. And doing all of this when there's no clear roadmap. Even the companies that are creating the frontier models, they are figuring out their own business model and forget about helping clients
Yeah.
about how to make sense of that technology. So that's the ground, that's the baseline where we started. And we said, sure, so let's start planning something and designing something for how do we solve some of these challenges. We called it the triple mandate, and that our the client business and tech leaders are really have almost an impossible balancing act that they're doing. I have my old legacy technical debt. I have today's operations, and I need to build tomorrow's edge. So then we said, okay, uh, are they being served well today? You have an internal IT team, and they're busy running all of this. Although they have an aspiration to learn and acquire the AI skills, it's really hard when you are already managing a production environment, and that's constantly changing. It's dynamic, it's being modernized, and you're building new features, and then expecting the same team to become the best AI team in the world is unrealistic. All right, then I go to consultants. I go to strategy consultants. They'll likely leave me with a deck of nice looking slides, and then it's up to me to implement. Or I hire a traditional IT services company and they bring a pyramid of consultants. And the usual challenges there, like junior consultants are learning on my dime. The senior partners have many times, bait and switch, flybys. There's endless coordinations, there's escalations, and knowledge walks out the door. So that's not helping them either. All right, then I'll go and buy software. I'll buy some SaaS or some on-prem software, and there the story is different, right? All the AI, like vertical AI products, they are being built now because the technology is growing so fast. So there's no inherent benefit in getting something because even those vendors are building something uh, as we go along. If you get software that's been around for a while, that platform itself needs to be modernized. You need another armies of consultants to make it work, customize it, and by the time it's ready, it's already outdated. So we said you have a triple mandate. You are not being served. You don't have much alternatives. So what's left? I mean, the only thing that you need to now do is create a new category. And that's where Suzega was born, and we call ourselves the Innovation Studio. We'll talk at length in the coming episodes about what does it mean, how does the studio work, how did we have to reimagine, reinvent how we productize our services, the platforms that we build, the way we deliver services, and so on. But going back to the timeless theme, we said we'll do all of this to deliver on those three simple asks. Keep the implementation simple, deliver things fast. So by fast, we said, how about 6 weeks? Like we deliver something every 6 weeks, or at least in 6 week cycles, and maybe leave another 2 weeks of cool down period in between. But let's say every 2 months, so you get like 6 defined deliveries in a given year, and you can change your mind at the end of each cycle. So because that's how innovation works, and we did do it in a way that is still slightly more cost effective because we use AI for our own development and our own software lifecycle and so on. So anyway, so that was a story that was emerging. And then an anecdote. This was like just a few weeks ago, speaking with a mid-tier company, and it was created by a gentleman in the 1980s, and it's pretty much a family-owned business, but it's a very highly scaled enterprise. And I had an opportunity to speak with the founder, and he said, all you IT folks, there are many vendors that have come and gone, and they have pitched to me. But what you guys are saying is different, and I can see that the simplicity is shining through. Because he said, in my mind, when I talk about technology projects, I really like to see red, yellow, green. Is the project on track? Is it going to complete within the given budget? And are you meeting deadlines? If yes, I don't need to know more details. I want to see the business outcomes. And if you operate that way, he said, you already won me over. And then the conversation continued, and his focus really was on how they pride themselves in being a white glove service to their end customer in the domain that they serve. And when they saw the same resonate with us, saying, look, our delivery model is similar, right? You have an expert pod that takes great care of you. That's your interface, that's your human interface. And these are likely the top 1% of the AI talent in the market today. And the reason we attract them is because of our culture. Again, we'll talk more about that culture in the coming episodes. But that's your interface. We built Itara, which is our platform. We took 7 months of investment. We didn't go to market till we had that built, because you need that. That's your AI factory. That's how we accelerate our development. And we came up with the 6 week cycle. We have the concept of a brain trust, and there's a great culture on the foundation of which all of this is built. So it's a very different way of creating a new category. And the best way to experience it is to try it out for the first cycle of 6 weeks, and that seems to be working quite well. So it's really starting your way backwards. Start with the customers and then work our way backwards. And when I say customer, it's the customer of our clients, and then work all the way backwards, the expert pods, the engine, the foundation, and collectively we call it the Suzega way of delivering innovation. We also coined the phrase of innovation streaming. Just like Netflix does entertainment streaming, how about considering us as innovation streaming? You subscribe to this model, which is a combination of all of these things, and you get innovation delivered every 2 months. And how about that? And that seems to be working. It's a long-winded answer, but I hope that uh, that kind of gives the context of how it's completely grounded in what our clients need today.
Absolutely. And I mean, that is a repeating theme that we have been hearing from customers. You touched upon several very, very important issues. And one of the other things I wanted to highlight in terms of, the theme of timeless, there's been this MIT study that has kind of gone viral now for several days, maybe a few weeks now, where they talked about, they looked at uh, multiple enterprises implementing tens of different AI and Gen AI pilots and production projects to see how they actually fared in the long run, right? And the headline that everyone has been circulating is, oh, 95% of these projects failed, right? And only 5% succeed. And so maybe we're all rushing into something we don't understand enough, and maybe we should slow down a bit. But I think that misses the big picture. If you dig into that study, certain pieces of insights that emerge, they are not new. They are as timeless as all of these things we've talked about. One of the biggest reasons why AI pilots and transformation pilots are failing is because they did not start with the right vision of the ROI. Right? It was either something that was too experimental, spray and pray, hope some of these ideas work, or the even if the idea succeeds, the ROI was too marginal because the project wasn't chosen carefully enough. Right? That's one of the key reasons. The second thing is, even when you start with the right vision, there's too much focus on then looking at how the technology is faring, the accuracy of AI, consistency of AI, in which the business metrics get sidelined. In the end, what we are delivering, any IT leader delivers for their organization, is not uh, the technology KPI numbers, but the business outcomes that they are entrusted with. And that lack of focus is one of the major reasons for failure. And the third was that a lot of companies either tried to do everything in house and simply didn't have the caliber of talent trained in house because it was not their core business. AI was not a core business, and they didn't choose the right partner to go with it. So having the right skilled partner significantly by something like 67% higher chances of success of an AI project if you brought the right partner there. So these insights, if you dig into this again, are not new in 2025 or not specific to AI. They are timeless insights that we would be well want to never lose sight of, right? And so that with that segue, I want to also ask you about, you have this perspective on how a digital leader, what kind of a framework they should think about, which is not just about technology but about multiple other factors, right? Design, humans, and so forth, on improving the chances of success of a technology led business transformation project. Share a little bit about that.
You raised a couple of very good points. The MIT study, that report has been circulating like crazy. I had one instance just a few weeks ago where one of the prospects I'm talking to, they had marked up that report page by page, annotations on the side, and I was about to, get the agreement signed, and they said, "No, no, hold on, read this report, and are we compliant
Yeah.
with all of these points?" And they had like 10, 12 things that highlighted in there, so we had to go deeper into that report, and I think since the last summer or this summer, I think it's been circulating quite heavily. It's the only 5% of the AI projects succeed in the sense they, yeah, many go to production, but then only 5% succeed in meeting their the ROI. And a few things that stood out for us, and luckily for us, our approach aligned quite well with the findings of the report. The the first one really was the suggestion there to pick one pain point, execute really well, and partner smartly. I think that was quite interesting to read. One of the findings in that report is I think if I remember the numbers right, I don't have the report in front of me, but like 67% success rate if the
Yes.
client is working with a well qualified partner instead of trying to build it on their own. And it what also highlighted the main highlight of the report was it's not the tech why these 5% or the 95% projects don't meet the ROI. It's really either the wrong focus area or the integration failures and a bunch of other problems, but it's not technology.
Brittle systems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's really the view that we have taken since inception. And our view really was that, in fact, that's how we even incorporated the company. Right? We are a public benefit corporation, and that's something new for many clients. Although the structure has been around for 10 plus years, a PBC is a for-profit company. It's a Delaware structure, and now I think many states in the US recognize that format, where we are legally committing to the principles that the public benefits that we state. There's no tax benefit for it. There's no reason to do it. It's voluntarily being done, and surprisingly, many AI companies are doing it. I think Claude, Anthropic is a PBC,
Anthropic.
and OpenAI's new for-profit uh, is a very complicated structure that they have, but one of the new for-profit entities is a PBC, and there are many more. For us, our public benefit became very clear when when the purpose of the company it was emerging. So I may be paraphrasing, but in our articles of incorporation, we've stated very clearly that we are committing to the principles of pioneering a new model of work. That, as you said, our company wants to be the prototype of the company of the future that enables human flourishing. So we'll share a lot about how we work and the new processes, principles, and practices that other companies might want to adapt and make their own. So that's one, the inside out view. And the outside in public benefit, we said, is we want to be the company that's advancing responsible AI that preserves human agency and delivers long term benefit to humanity. So when you take that approach to AI implementation, you are cutting out on a whole bunch of projects that are designed only for a quick automation and replacement of human work and so on. And instead, we said, uh, let's when you start with responsible, then you have to take a human-centric approach to adopting AI. So you shift the goal from just human efficiency to human flourishing. Right? So that's the approach that we've taken, and that I think is one of the keys to why our approach seems to be uh, winning in terms of realizing ROI from those AI investments. And the framework that you asked about that's emerging is a, a combination of three things. Now, we haven't written about it yet. This is something that has emerged organically in the way our approach has emerged. And that is a little bit in line with what Steve Jobs had one famously said in his slide, saying that it's technology and liberal arts and humanities, and when they come together, that's what makes our hearts sing, or something to that effect is what he said. And it's emerging towards that. That what can AI technology do? We need to be the best in the world at knowing all of those techniques, and right from the frontier models, fine tuning them using RAG or LoRa or whatever that next best thing in that the world of AI is. Our team has to uh, be on the frontier of applying that and extracting the commercial value out of it for our clients. So while the frontier models are and frontier companies and labs are producing these models, we are on the frontier of applied AI. So that we have to be the best in the world at that technology and the engineering of it. But that alone is not enough. Then we need to think about the design aesthetics. What is the human computer interaction in this world of AI? Uh, what does the user experience look like? Okay, not just the screen and the chat interface and so on, but it could be voice, it could be images, video. If the glasses, take off, what does that new interaction with AI look like, and what are the design aesthetics that we need to take care of? And that's why we had to go and find somebody who is an expert at that. We found a talented individual, and maybe we'll invite them on the podcast also in one of the episodes. They were in Singapore, wanted to go back to India, and then they joined us. And so we have some of that capability now being built. And the third is broadly I put under a bucket of humanities or uh, human factors, briefly, which includes or that asks us the why and the why not question. Right, the third pillar is extremely important. Just because technology or engineering can build something doesn't mean you build it. Yeah, so you ask the question on why are we building it, or why not if we are not doing it. So those are the things that human factors bring in. So if you look at all the three principles, and I think we should write a newsletter or a post about it, is being the best company in the world at applying the frontier AI, doing that with a clear sense of the evolving design aesthetics and design principles, and doing it by keeping the human factors in mind, the change management, the way people uh, fear about AI, acknowledging that. Uh, there's clearly fear of, if I train the AI, it's eventually going to take away a lot of the entry level jobs and so on, and so that's real. So we have to acknowledge that and understand, help our clients plan for the transition, maybe upskill and meet your best talent, which is the key differentiator that makes you more competitive. Instead of driving their morale down, you really need to make them part of the transformation, right? As humanity, we've always been tool makers, right? From the cave age, we've built tools, and so that is going to happen. We will build tools, we will innovate, we will bring new technologies in, and that will disrupt some of the existing jobs. But we need to give it time. We need to plan the transition. We need to help our clients address all of that. So we took that broad approach and that framework, coupled with our way of delivering and taking a whole studio model of innovating, that seems to be resonating quite well. It's slow and steady. We are that calm and steady hand, and that's why right there on our homepage on the top we say, cut through the AI chaos and build lasting advantage. So that's where we are for, and I hope that that turns out to be the right approach in implementing AI in the enterprise.
Fantastic. We spoke about a lot of different things. So, as we close this first episode, I want to try and recap a few themes for our audience to, kind of remember and take away from this, and then come back and actually, discuss with us on the various forums we'll be posting this on, because we want to hear your feedback on what you've just heard from us here. So, a few key things. Uh, while everyone is out chasing what's changing, focus on the timeless things that are not going to change for the next decade and beyond for your business and for your customers. Focus on them, build and do those things well. Key thing for adopting technology is that start with the right business focused ideas, keep your eye on the business metrics, and then adopt technology for the right reasons, and not just for the sake of technology adoption. And when you start with responsible human-centric approach to adopting AI, your goal can quickly shift from mere human efficiency to human flourishing. Right? That was another insight. And I think the culture shift that we are seeing help us do better as a company. We believe that to be a key ingredient even for our customers and their employee base, right? The culture shift is going to be as critical as technology and business focus in getting the organization to succeed in the long run. So, did I miss anything, or did
Just
we
going to say
cover
that
all of the
we are going
highlights?
to restart the newsletter. Right, we wrote a bunch of articles when the company was launched, and under the next prompt, so there are these audio and video episodes, and along with that, if you subscribe to the newsletter, we'll try to elaborate on some of these points and maybe some insights in between episodes. So it might be another way in which we engage and hear back from our audience.
Perfect. So, thank you very much for listening to us. And we'll see you soon with the next episode of the next prompt.